Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. Will the Treasurer outline to the House how the Morrison government's strong and decisive economic management will ensure that we can look forward to our economy continuing its comeback from the COVID-19 recession?
The Treasurer.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker. I thank the member for Moncrief for a question. A lifesaver, a small business person, an author and a musician, Mr Speaker. Hey. A wonderful range of experiences before coming to this place. Now, Mr Speaker, the member for Moncrief, like those on this side of the House, understand that 2020 has been a year like none other. Australia and the world has been hit by the biggest economic shock since the Great Depression, a once-in-a-century pandemic. The equivalent of around 600 million people globally have lost their jobs. Here in Australia, 1.3 million Australians either lost their jobs or saw their working hours reduced to zero early on in the pandemic. In the June quarter, we saw GDP fall by 7%, the single biggest fall that we have seen in a quarter in Australia's history. Now, since that time, our economy, our nation has been on a journey of recovery, Mr Speaker. 80% of the 1.3 million people who either lost their jobs or saw their working hours reduced to zero are now back at work, Mr Speaker. 178,000 jobs were created last month. More than 50% of those jobs went to women, Mr Speaker. Today, jobs ads are up in the month of November by 14%, following an increase of 12% in October, and seeing the job ads numbers come back recovering about 90% of their fall. And as the Prime Minister said, in the month of October, there are 2 million fewer Australian workers and 450,000 fewer Australian businesses on JobKeeper in October compared to September. And we've seen in 12 of the last 13 weeks consumer confidence increase. We've seen Australia's AAA credit rating being reaffirmed. And we saw in the national accounts for the quarter of September a 3.3% increase, the single largest increase in September quarterly growth, or in quarterly growth since 1976, Mr Speaker. That is the comeback that we are seeing right across the country. Now, these numbers are more than just numbers on a page. They are human lives. They are human lives, and I had the opportunity in the electorate of Reid to go and visit Salvatore at Papa's Patisserie, Mr Speaker, more than 100 staff, and he used JobKeeper. But now he is graduated. And now he is graduated off JobKeeper, and the customers are coming back at 5 Dock in Sydney, and that is again another business that has graduated off JobKeeper. So, Mr Speaker, under the coalition,
the Treasurer's
jobs
time
are coming
has
back.
concluded.